Welcome once again to the Autodromo Internazionale Enzo and Dino Ferrari. The clue is in the name. This is very much Ferrari home turf, and the locals will be out in force today to support their team in what we hope will be a magnificent spectacle of motorsport. On then to the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And like most Formula One tracks, Imola is driven anti-clockwise and offers our drivers today just over 3 miles of glistening wet tarmac to negotiate. It's made up of a roughly equal split of 9 right-hand turns and 10 left-hand. Watch the drivers on the way into turn 16. Managing their speed there will be crucial, with the rain only adding to the difficulty of that downhill braking section, which then, of course, leads them into the track's longest straight, though no DRS there today, of course. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Rodriguez lines up on pole position. A very happy Carlos Sainz will start second. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Hamilton, Valtteri Bottas and Perez, Leclerc, Ocon, Fernando Alonso and Lando Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly, Kevin Magnussen and Tsunoda, Joe, Vettel, Lance Stroll and George Russell, Albon, Mick Schumacher, Nissany and Nicholas Latifi. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. It's not going to be plain sailing for our drivers today, although with the sky falling as it is, perhaps sailing isn't too far from the truth. Anthony Davidson, could be a wet one today. Great to have you with us. What are your thoughts?
It is a touch damp, isn't it? Well, as a driver, there are 3 big things to worry about when racing in these kind of conditions: standing water, tyre temperature and visibility. Judging distance to the cars around you is really tricky when you're driving through the vast amounts of spray that these wet weather Pirelli tyres kick up.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down. Okay, you're sat in P2, Sainz ahead, and gap to the car in front is 3.3 seconds. They're on a fresh set of wets. Perez behind. Okay, the gap is less than a second. They're on a fresh set of wets. Look after these tyres now. You want to finish the race on this compound. All right, 15 laps still remaining. Left of this rain, then we think it's going to dry up. 10 minutes. Definitely think we need to stay on this tyre a bit longer, but there's no question the track's drying. We might be in a position to change soon. job. That was the fastest lap of the race so far. Okay, you're doing well out there, keep it up. We're looking at about 10 more minutes of rain, 10 minutes. Inters seem to be the fastest tyre for now. Okay, I reckon we could probably get away with intermediate tyres now. We're going to find it harder and harder to keep the wets cool from here, but the inters should be easier. Gap to your teammate behind is 16.6 seconds. Cars are coming in for inters. It's touch and go, but could be worth a risk. We'll be ready for it if you want a box. Current forecast is 5 or 10 minutes more of rain before it starts to dry up. Inters look like the best tyre for now. Second place, you're in second place. Okay, Sainz is ahead of you. Okay, gap ahead is 2.3 seconds. They're on old wets. Leclerc behind. Okay, so the gap to the car behind is 5.7 seconds. They're on old wets. Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. 9 laps to go. Okay, I think the track's going to be drying out quite soon. Be careful you don't burn out your tyres. Okay, it's borderline, mate, but if I were you, I'd come in and change tyres. I'm just not sure we're on the right ones for these conditions anymore. Understood, stopping this lap. Your early turn in meant we had a slower than planned pit stop. That was our last stop, no more scheduled pit stops, let's go. Tyre situation's an interesting one, but I think the right call is to stick with what we've got for now. DRS has been enabled, DRS is now enabled. Strategy available on the MFD. Okay, there's been an incident on track resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are so far no plans for a safety car. Looks like it's probably about time we change tyres. It's a bit of a crossover period for sure, but the longer we stay, the worse it's going to get. Roy's in the pits. Roy in the pit lane now. And that's just 5 laps of fuel remaining. Yellow flag. Green flag. Pack, that's P1. That's Sainz behind you now. Our gap behind is 2.6 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound. Come on, just 3 laps to go. 3 laps. Right, we've got enough fuel for 3 more laps. position, front of the pack. Leclerc is behind you. Okay, the gap behind is 7.9 seconds. They're on fresh softs. Okay, this is your final lap of the race. You've done it! Well done! Great stuff, mate! Great stuff!
Well, that might not have been the finest race in history, but there's no question that was a critical win. So, Anthony, what made the difference out there today?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Well, what a thrilling end to an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top three finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It was not the best weekend for our championship leader, and their advantage at the top has been reduced. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
I have to say Sebastian Vettel certainly caught my eye during today's race. Incredible driving.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. Meanwhile, good work from Aston Martin this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. I'm equal parts exhausted and elated with this weekend of Formula One. Be sure to join us for the next one.